Hey, 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 it's Kimberly Smith Austin. I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Made to Inspire podcast. I am here today with my awesome and amazing co host, Misty Kerrigan. Hey, Misty.
Hey, Kimberly. Happy Martin Luther King Day. It is Monday, the 16th. We're flying through this year.
Whew, 16 days already. I cannot believe it. Cannot believe it. But what a joy today to celebrate and honor Martin Luther King Jr. Definitely a man of conscience, all about the freedom movement, justice, and love. And today we devote this day to him. And for all of you that may be listening, you're off today, or what a great opportunity. And as we reflect on the legacy that he left behind, his purpose, his vision, and the plan, we want to just give you some nuggets and how that applies to you, to your business, and your life.
So the other day we were at a get together, and one of the ladies came in, and not that it's a bad thing, but she did say that, like, she was going to kind of pause the business for a while and find a job. Because there is clearly a lot of jobs out there. I was doing job interviews last week at Oak Grove, hiring new people to come in, and that was great. But always it makes me a little sad when someone has that heart to like start a business, but then it doesn't kind of get where they need it or want it, and then they're like, oh, maybe I should pause it, or maybe that was a hard idea. And then I think sometimes too, then other people hear that and they thought, oh, I had an idea, but I don't want to do anything with it now, because if you can't do it, how can I do it? And they kind of get stuck. I know that was for me, before working with you and having to fill out the paperwork and do all that. But it really is a decision that sometimes fear overrides.
Absolutely.
And so I want to kind of dedicate the show to you if you're on your fence out there, or maybe you're in your business and you're not quite feeling it how you used to, or you're like, I really want to start a business, or I have an idea. However, and you could fill in the blank. For me, it was security.
Yep.
Even though, what a better way to secure yourself than to be in charge of your money coming in.
Absolutely.
But what about you when you're coaching and stuff? Is that something that you hear a lot because I know a lot of times too, people, some corporate, not all, I don't want to be judgy, but I was talking to a friend in corporate real estate, and it sounds scary and horrible. And there's layoffs everywhere, and furloughs. I didn't even know what that word was. And furloughs. And it does sound like a lot of backbiting and pinning against people against each other. And I've never worked corporate, so I don't know, but that sounded more scary to me than stepping out to start something that you truly believe in.
Yeah, I'll tell you, corporate is interesting, having spent many years in corporate America and also on the other side. Now, I think I might have spent more years as an entrepreneur than I did corporate.
Wow.
But what I love is that corporate was my platform to help me get the skill set, get the knowledge, and really help me build structures and systems so that when I transitioned to my own business, I could, in fact, build a successful platform. And I'll tell you, yes, it's challenging in corporate, but yes, it's also challenging on the other side. So when you think about it, I think we all have, a work to do. And I love it because, and I'm going to tie this back to Martin Luther King Jr. He says, whatever your life's work is, do it well. He says a man should do his job so well that that the living, the dead, and the unborn could do it no better. So when I think about that quote in itself, do your life's work well. Now, you mentioned the young lady who decided to go back to corporate or go back and get a job. Although she's going back to get a job, keep that vision, keep that idea, keep that passion alive. Maybe it's not 40 hours a week like it was when you were doing it solely and completely, but maybe do 10 a week and keep it alive. Because here's the truth: consistency is the key to successful business. Consistency, because without it, your business won't be as successful as you imagine. And I'll tell you, running a business takes more than hard work and dedication. You also have to understand the importance of specific tasks. You have to set a plan, a blueprint to follow. And if you don't have one, your business is more than likely has no direction. You're going to sputter when you face challenges, which right now we're dealing with inflation, recession, rather than pushing past them. And when you recognize this, Anyone who slides in your position can do it, but you were destined for that. You had the vision, you had the idea, the purpose. Go back to work, do whatever it takes, to make it work for your family, your financials, but don't let that dream die inside you.
And I love that, because it's almost like if you're able to bridge some of the skill structures and systems you might not have, going back and learning them and becoming more competent, you don't have to wait. You can, I know Bill Walsh always says, like you could work 40 hours a week. He's all, but what are you doing in the rest of the week? That
Right.
There's more time that you're not at work to be able to build and grow something.
That's right. That's right. Another famous Martin Luther King quote, he says, there is no gain without struggle. And that's in life, that's in business, that's in relationships. And I think when we recognize that, we can embrace it, because despite the many obstacles that will come our way, we can positively use these struggles to reach our goals. I love talking about stress. Make stress your friend. Instead of running from it and fearing it, make it your friend. Challenges can be useful for you if you face them correctly, because the reward, listen to this, the reward when you overcome them. Martin Luther King says, we shall overcome.
Just like that, I think he said it.
That's exactly what was that, Misty?
I said, just like that. That's how he said it.
That's right. So we have to get accustomed to the struggle, but be willing to stay in the game enough to see the gain, stay in the game to see the gain on the other side of the obstacle.
I love that. And where did we get the idea that everything comes easy and there's no struggle?
I don't
even
know.
Working out, right? Or even like even the way our bodies are made, the muscle has to be stressed to grow, but it grows outside of the stress. But you have to put it through the stress so that it can go into growth. So it's almost like, why would life not be the same when it comes to business? And even I've never met anyone whose job wasn't stressful in certain aspects of it.
That's right. That's right. I want to speak to something I learned early, years and years ago in marriage class. And this is weird. You may or may not agree with this, but there was a concept that marriage is not designed to make you happy. That was the core concept, that this was a marriage class at church, was not designed to make you happy, but instead to help you grow up. So if you take this concept to life, to business, all of these different things, you have to, once you grow up and build and create a sense of happiness, then it comes to that place. That was interesting to me, because it took me a minute to say, but wait, I want to be happy. And that's what our society, we live and look forward to, being happy. How do I have everything I want without any struggle? But that's not life. That's not reality. And as a business owner, if you haven't had any struggles, get ready for them. You're either in the middle of a struggle, going out of a struggle, or just experience struggle altogether, because it's real. But get ready. And this is not a bad thing. It's a good thing, because it's the challenges that make us stronger. Without challenge, there is no change.
I heard it said I was at a conference, and they said some of the best advice they got is when someone told them they're like, oh, there's a huge problem. And he said, I love problems because they bring new opportunities. Yes.
I love that. And I'm full of these quotes today. And so when you said that, it made me think of one more. Martin Luther King said something like, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. The true neighbor will risk his position, his prestige, his welfare. And so you think about that. It's not about the comfort spot. It's the challenge. And where do we go? And how do we propel through it? Because it's that moment when you actually see your biggest success.
And you can't grow in comfort. Every book we've ever read, everything you read is you only grow outside of your comfort zone. So you have to be comfortable with not being comfortable.
That's right. I love it. And as a young person, if you're young, new in business, young adult building a business, you may feel like, well, I don't know if I agree with him. A little time will show you that what we're saying is really true. And if you've had any period of time in this life with relationships, with people, with friendships, with work, company, all that happens, but I believe on the other side, a good leader is going to inspire you. You're going to inspire others to really help them stay in line with their purpose, encourage and inspire them to do everything possible to move forward during those troubled times and help you see the light or help others see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I love that, because sometimes just by doing you, others are inspired by that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And you know, and I don't want to nail this thing in the coffin, but failure is inevitable. And when you recognize that and having a leader who you can learn from your mistakes, being a leader that you can learn from your mistakes and sharing that with other people. That's why my philosophy is grow and go. Grow and go, grow, and then go out and share that with people that you have the privilege or that you're entrusted with, so that they too can grow on this journey called business, called entrepreneurship, called life.
I love that. And then it will kind of 360 it all back to it kind of connects to, what do you do the best? What do you do that you love? And we've had tons of episodes on this where it's a divine gift you have that you do so well that it comes so easy that you don't even realize it's a gift sometimes, because you think because it comes so easy to you, other people, it probably comes easy to other people, which it doesn't. So really kind of leaning into is, what is your life's work?
What is it? And I know some of you are here contemplating that today, even as we are in the beginning of a new year. You know, every year I go back to the same question. What's my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? How am I going to impact the world? I ask that every day, but especially at the new year. I'm always trying to figure it out. You know, even though I felt like it's been downloaded in my spirit over and over again. He says, it's the same, it's the same, it's the same. But I think there's new variations to it, right? There's new aspects of it that we can step into. But when you recognize that, walk in it, walk in it. That is when you will experience the greatest fulfillment in your life. And I think when we don't live out our purpose, we stay in a place of confusion. We stay in a place of unfulfillment. And so really recognize, what is your life worth? How do you step into it? If you have a vision, a goal, a passion, it's time to explore it and make this year a better year, a new year, a year that you really say, no more sitting by the wayside. It's time for me to step into it and walk it out. Walk it out.
It out.
Walk it out.
Yes. And I love that. It does lead. I like the connecting it to being bigger than you. Connecting it to being bigger than you, which is another quote by Martin Luther King Day Jr. So life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? So how does your divine gift, how does your idea, how does your passion, how do you now utilize that where it enriches, enlightens, enhances, edifies others?
Yeah. You know, one thing I think about is most entrepreneurs work alone. True fact, true fact. And there's a lot of pressure on an entrepreneur on a regular basis to make their business succeed. But the truth is, you will also benefit from having a good team around you. And when you think about that, to help your business succeed, it pays to invest time in your team, to reach out and get in community with other people, because not only will they benefit from having your support, but you can benefit from having that time with others and helping you visualize, create day-to-day tasks, interactions. So you have to think about your business owner, entrepreneur, is not just about you. You got to see the big picture, and you should see yourself as a part of a community, as a part of a team reaching towards a common goal. We'd be surprised how many others out here in the marketplace share a similar passion, a similar vision. And with collaboration, you can create more, better together. That was that pandemic quote, #better together. And, we have other shows that we talk about that, the power of collaboration, the power of community. And when we come together and recognize how we can help the greater good, those around us, wow, we really propel and our business will grow exponentially beyond what we ever imagined.
I love that. How many people can your business serve in 1 year? Not how much money can I make? The first will bring in the second, but if you do it with that first attitude, There's some different energy that comes with that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like that.
that's powerful when you think about that. And I think it's so often that we're trained me, 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 me. We live in a me, 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 me society, but me has to become we. Even though there's times when me has to come before we, but me has to become we to create a better world. Because here's the truth, you cannot sustain your business alone. Your personal income, your personal sales, your personal passion, views, and values, although it's the landmark or the starting point, it's not the end. You need others within your community around you to support and participate in what you're building.
Right. You can't be the only one marketing your business.
Yeah. You can't. And that's a whole nother show. We're going to talk about marketing partners and affiliates and getting people to partner with you so that you can grow at that next level.
So you have amazing purpose.
Yep.
You know what you want to do. You know how it's going to help and impact others. What's the next step?
That's a good question. What is the next step? And, when you think about it, I want to say the next step, but the first step, when we go back to this, Martin Luther King had a quote that says, faith, faith. We've got to put that at the front end and the back end. You know why? Because you can't go in with faith, because faith is action. I heard that yesterday, and I always say that. But yesterday I was at church and he mentioned faith is action. It's an act. It's a verb, it's action. So when you think about it, you've got to put it at the front. You have to believe enough in yourself and your vision, your passion to step out into this business. But you also have to have faith on the back, in the middle and on the backside, because it's taking that first step. Even when you don't see the whole staircase, you've got to be willing to step out of your comfort zone that we just talked about and step into your superpower. I'm going to really quickly make a mention of a book, and dang it, it's a book about the alter ego. Was it Todd? What's his name? Todd Herman? I can't remember. We read this book together, Miss. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
The alter ego. And he talks about stepping out of this person that we live as every single day and stepping into this other person so that we can achieve our goals, our dreams, and our passion. And if you find yourself needing to do that, then that's what you need to do. He uses Beyonce as an example, Beyonce versus Sasha Fierce, and how she was able to transition from being the traditional church-going, singing girl to this fierce pop star that's made millions and billions of dollars because she stepped into this alter ego. She had the faith in her heart, but she needed something else to help her, boom, step into that next place.
It's the Clark Kent putting on the Superman, right? Like when Superman, I could do this, but Clark couldn't. So the book is The Alter Ego Effect, The Power of Secret Identities to Transform Your Life by Todd Herman.
Todd Herman. All right. Good.
And it's funny because it does kind of go through the story of the Beyonce. And I love because at one point she got to merge when she had enough confidence and faith in Beyonce.
Yeah.
But absolutely, she's like, I couldn't do that performance. Be like, but Sasha Fierce could. And so it really is kind of getting to step into something greater than you while still being you.
That's right. And I love it because if we think about who Martin Luther King Jr. himself was, he had a dream. And his dream was freedom, which is every entrepreneur's dream, which you say, right? Equality, which is why many of us, we're fed up with how we were treated in corporate America or some space, and we want to create a platform for ourselves so we can not only feel equal, but create jobs to create freedom for others and equality, but also love. So that was his platform. And as an entrepreneur, you're doing this because you love something. You've identified a problem, you see a proficiency, you see something out here, and you said, you know what, I'm going to go and make the world different with my vision, with my passion, with my business. And if you're not a business owner, maybe you're an emerging leader in the marketplace, in the corporate America, and you too have that same passion. See, I saw something coming from you. I'm going to stop.
So I love because the faith is the verb. And we have the faith is taking the first step when you don't see the whole staircase, because sometimes we could be frozen if we don't understand how everything works completely.
Right.
But if we let go of that and have the faith to take that first step to get out of our comfort zone, not when you kind of like pains when I go work out, when I haven't worked out in a while, And I'm like, oh, I'm sore because my body hasn't done that, but then it feels better and goes away and it feels stronger.
Yes.
So it really is about, unless you get out of your head and get into action, it'll never leave your head because you could scare the crap out of yourself. What if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? And sometimes that never happens, but you also never happen because you never took that first step.
Right, right. And I love it because you said it gets better, but we know that it only gets better with consistency. And I mentioned that earlier, that consistency is everything. So if you consistently step out in your faith, you will become this huge giant, right? It's the baby steps that count, but baby steps equal to monumentous growth, and changes inside of you. But it's our life isn't transformed by those major things. It's those micro steps. Last week, we talked about one move, one step. And, that was one of Martin Luther King quotes about stepping, taking that first step. And so we challenge you, as we do every single week, to think about, what are those steps? How do you take that first step? So Misty, now that we've given them a little bit, what are those 3 steps we're leaving them with today so that they not only could create the freedom, the equality, the justice, and the love in their businesses, in their lives? Let's give you some action, something to put you into action to make it work.
Step 1 was kind of getting out of complacency. So even if you have a business or you want a business or you're an emerging leader and everything just kind of feels it's just the same, it's just kind of happening and you've lost a little bit of that passion, and really connect back into you and what in your life do you do amazingly? Does it not feel like work? That is it. And I've heard this too from other experts, is if you don't have your passion in work, some people just don't. They like the 9 to 5, they get the money, is don't let it die with you though. Is what are you doing after work? Is it a hobby? We've seen people on the weekends being able to lean into some of that. I know this amazing dentist, and Monday through Wednesday, she's an amazing dentist, runs 2 practices. Thursday through Sunday, she's traveling, speaking and coaching.
Nice.
But she didn't not have the business, and someday she wants to step more into the speaking, traveling, but until then she's doing both. So it really looks at, what do you do well, and then where can you do both if you can't fully concentrate on the one.
That's it.
So step 1 is figuring out what you do well and when putting it in your day. When are you going to do that? The second one is, how does that impact others? What are you doing for others? And if you could just make that small business shift in the sense of, how does what I do serve, impact, edify others, you watch yourself start to even marketing becomes easier. Even the word everyone sometimes hates, sales. I like the word influence myself, but when you know that you have something that someone else needs, you can't help but want to share that. And
Absolutely.
others can't help but want to share it for you.
Absolutely. And that reminds me of a conversation you and I think it was yesterday or last week. I sent you a quick text where I was out about, and I said, hey, listen, we're doing this Empowered Women in Wellness Conference, which, by the way, mark your calendars, March 18th. It will be live and virtual, and it's all about your wellness, physical, mental, social, financial, all that. But I said to you, this organization that helps women, particularly, let's support them in 2 ways. Number one, let's support them and get them at this conference so they can get this information in their lives. Because sometimes, I believe, not sometimes, but a lot of times, information leads to transformation. They're in a challenging season in their lives. Let's get them some information to help them transform, that helps them then go into implementation and changing their life. In addition to that, let's support this organization financially. Let some of the proceeds from this event support them. So it's not just about us and what we want, but this is how we're going to help others, help make an impact in our community that we serve.
I love that. I was just talking to a gentleman yesterday, and he said last year he was able to give something like $30,000 back.
Yes.
Just back after his profit and his family taking care of, and the business doing good. But imagine, we're $30,000. Where would you put that?
Yes.
What agency would you get? What cause would you help? Think about your favorite nonprofit right now. What would happen if you handed them a $30,000 check?
Yeah.
How could that change the nonprofit, and how would they impact? So I absolutely love that. Is, what are you doing for others? Because sometimes just that money, time.
Yep.
Oof.
Yeah. Time, talent, treasure, you're giving of yourself can make a tremendous impact.
So every time when we get excited, when we get to invite someone to come to the conference and they sign up to come, we know it's twofold. They're going to get to come to the conference, and we're going to give more back to this amazing organization that helps single moms.
That's right. That's right. And then what's our last one, Misty?
Faith is taking that step. Faith is taking the first step when you don't see the whole staircase. And it really just is that action verb of faith. What is your first step going to be?
That's it.
And don't we?
That's the first, the middle, and the last, because it's all a part of it. What were you saying?
Maybe, what if we had a first step they could take?
We've got a first step, guys. We've got a first step. Last week we mentioned to you that our 5-day challenge is coming up. It kicks off on the 30th of January. 5 days, 5 days. So everything that we've been talking about here in all of our past shows, taking those ideas, taking those visions, your passions and dreams, from inspiration, meaning from your heart, from idea to income. And we're in a time in today's marketplace where we need to create more income. Everything is higher. Everything is higher. And I know there's a lot of layoffs going on. So we want to help you create the freedom that Martin Luther King envisioned. We want to help you create equality for your finances, for your life, and for the world around you, because your vision matters, your dream matters. And as a result of that, we're going to give you 5 days of power content, and help you build a framework, a concept that you can take from idea to income. We're super excited because we have been launching this program for almost 3 years. Misty, it's almost 3 years, and we're expecting great results. So if you're looking to take that first step, and if you're not sure about taking that first step, take a look at our show notes, click in the link, join the challenge, join our challenge. I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. 1 hour a day for 5 days. We're going to pour in, you're going to have worksheets, you're going to have opportunities to draw and create and build your dream so that you can have the freedom that your heart and mind desires. There's something out there that I believe you were meant to bring to the world. The question is, will you take the first step? Will you do that for not only you, but for others? And will you have the faith to move forward?
And it's not even a scary first step. It's invest an hour a day with us, and help yourself by helping us while we help you just get through your brain, walking through the little things that hold you back and looking at what would it mean if your idea exploded onto reality.
That's right. Guys, there is something out there waiting for you. We say it every week, and we really believe it. So we invite you to join us for the challenge. Not only we invite you, but if you have a friend, a family member, a coworker who also has dreams inside of them, keep in mind, it won't change your business, or it won't change or stop your business from growing the way that it should, but instead it's going to propel it and expand your vision. So get out there, take a look at the show notes. We are super excited. And as we say every week, there's something out there waiting for you.
Now go get it.